manifesto, it's 100% reservation?
I think it's a very basic question of their political identity, their brand of politics. Shiv Sena for the last so many decades has been conducting their policies on this very plank, and out of the blue when there is a split and Raj Thackeray is looked upon being more aggressive on the Marathi Manus issue, they are somehow feeling very uncomfortable and they are just somehow trying to cling to that identity further, not realizing that this clinging to that agenda is actually making the task easier for the Congress and the NCP, because they are antagonizing the entire non-Marathi vote of the Mumbai region. And what is happening, Munmun, is that outside Mumbai region, this issue is not an issue at all. It's a non-issue because outside Mumbai, in the rest of the Maharashtra, the immigration problem is not that big.
Right.
The anti-non-Marathi sentiment is not that big. So when they pick up really hot issue like anti-North Indian or something of that kind, it clicks in the Mumbai region, but it doesn't click outside
Right,
Mumbai.
so we are saying the Marathi issue is more central and it is important today only in Mumbai and not outside it, and perhaps MNS stands to gain by it, and also the Congress and the NCP, because the non-Maharashtrians would not vote for
Absolutely,
this.
and that's the reason, Munmun, that MNS is unable to show much of its impact outside Mumbai as well.
Absolutely.
Because this issue is virtually non-existent outside Mumbai.
True. Also, NCP, how do you look at its problems in Western Maharashtra? We have seen rebellion in the past. There has been intra-party rivalry, inter-party rivalry. There have been incidents when Sharad Pawar was projected as the prime ministerial candidate, and then we saw how he hobnobbed with Bal Thackeray. Now he said that now Sharad Pawar has said that MNS support will not be taken post-elections. So how do you look at the situation of NCP in Western Maharashtra?
Well, I think it's just a pure sentiment of anti-incumbency to quite a large extent, I would say. Most of the sitting MLAs, the seats that they are representing in the assembly, it's one time, twice, thrice, fourth. Most of their member parliaments, they are very much in there for last 2 or 3 terms. So at the same time, the local governance or the hold, their stronghold on the in the village level of governance or in the town level of governance has been there for quite a long time. So what is happening in terms of NCP, I would not like to say that NCP has done something really stupid that their situation is getting really berserk at the moment. NCP has done the same level of political problem, wrong politics that Congress would have done or the BJP and Shiv Sena has done. So it gets nullified from the stupidity point of view, which is the more stupid one in taking the wrong causes.
आपसे समझने की कोशिश करूं, जो मतदान का प्रतिशत है उसको लेकर अक्सर चर्चाएं होती हैं, गंभीर चर्चा होती है। 63% हुआ था जब पिछली बार विधानसभा चुनाव हुआ था, लेकिन जब हम लोकसभा के चुनाव में देखते हैं तो प्रतिशत काफी नीचे नजर आता है। किस तरीके से आप देखते हैं आज पोलिंग परसेंटेज कितनी हम उम्मीद करें? जागरूकता काफी ज्यादा बढ़ी है।
देखिए, बॉम्बे में और कोंकण, मतलब बेसिकली उधर उस पूरे इलाके में बहुत कम मतदान हुआ था लोकसभा में, और उसका कारण भी था कि लोगों की जो आतंकवादी घटनाएं हुई थी इसके बाद एकदम से लोगों का इंटरेस्ट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के खिलाफ हुआ गया था एक तरह से, और किसी भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को वो उस तरह का वैक्यूम भरता हुआ नहीं देख रहे थे। एक एंटी कांग्रेस, एंटी एनसीपी प्लान के ऊपर उनकी शायद इच्छा होती कि वो बीजेपी शिवसेना को वोट देते, लेकिन जब वो ये देख रहे हैं कि शिवसेना और एमएनएस एक दूसरे की होड़ में है कि किस तरीके से वहां से नॉर्थ इंडियंस को भगाया जाए, खदेड़ा जाए, अपमानित किया जाए, उसमें जो नॉन कांग्रेस या एंटी कांग्रेस नॉर्थ इंडियन वोट है वो भी मजबूरी में बीजेपी या शिवसेना को नहीं जा पा रहा है।
लेकिन परसेंटेज, पोलिंग परसेंटेज इस बार कुछ बढ़ता आपको दिख रहा है?
मेरा अपना मानना यह है कि जब स्थानीय चुनाव होते हैं तो लोकसभा चुनाव की अपेक्षा ज्यादा बेहतर टर्नआउट होता है, लेकिन रिजल्ट देखने से ही पता लगेगा, क्योंकि इस बार बहुत सारे मुद्दे ऐसे भी बढ़ रहे हैं। मसलन आपका नक्सलिज्म का इशू, जिन इलाकों में जहां पे नक्सलाइट स्ट्राइक्स हुए हैं वहां पर टर्नआउट कैसा होता है, ये बहुत कुछ निर्भर करेगा वहां की लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन के ऊपर।
But also interestingly, in Gadchiroli and Mumbai you compare, then the voter turnout in Gadchiroli was far higher in the 2009 Lok Sabha elections also, and in the 2004 assembly polls also.
That's a brilliant point that you made, because in any case the rural turnout in India in the last 20 odd years we have seen is always higher. The conviction of our rural voter in the democracy is always higher, much better than the lethargy, I would say, that takes around the middle classes of the urban centers.
So it remains to be seen whether it will be more than the 50% turnout that we saw overall in the 2009 Lok Sabha elections in Maharashtra. Let's shift focus to Haryana. Most of the news analysis is saying it is advantage Congress, but here we are seeing that it's actually a five-cornered fight, at least in all the 90 seats, and a six-cornered fight where rebels of the Congress are also into the fray in at least 30 seats. 10 of them are said to be serious contenders. Do you think it can be very easy, a cakewalk almost for the Congress, especially after winning 9 out of 10? Or do you think it will be a little close to the halfway mark, 45, 46?
I think it should be easy for Congress. That's the way I feel like, because Haryana is today behaving in the same manner that Uttar Pradesh behaves, that you have got every seat is witnessing 4 or 5 cornered contests, and anybody in Uttar Pradesh, if you take into account elections right after 1991, any party which has polled more than 32% votes has actually got good handsome majority in the assembly. That's largely because of the split in the opposition vote. And if you copy that phenomena in Haryana this time, then you will figure out that this probably is the first election after a long time in Haryana where the opposition is really fragmented in a big way, and that should make the task easy. Congress vote might go down, but at the same time their seats, I don't see a big difference in their number of seats, because the gap is simply too huge. It's big.
67, of course, the Congress got, and 9 the INLD.
No, I'm talking about the gap in the vote share. You see, if you take into account the Lok Sabha election, in any case, Congress polled more than 40% of votes, and the gap between the Congress and the next alliance, that was the NDA, was more than 10%. And at the moment, that alliance is split. INLD is contesting separately and BJP is contesting
लेकिन इस
separately.
तरीके की भी खबरें आ रही है कि ओम प्रकाश चौटाला की जो स्थिति है इस बार हरियाणा में वो काफी बेहतर मानी जा रही है। पिछली बार के चुनावों में हमने देखा था कि जो विधानसभा में विपक्ष का नेता भी कोई नहीं बन पाया था, क्योंकि अपोजिशन की जो संख्या थी वो काफी कम थी। क्या आपको लगता है कम से कम उतनी स्थिति इस बार बेहतर होगी विपक्ष की?
जो मुंह के बल जमीन पे गिरा हुआ था वो शायद इस समय उखड़ू होकर बैठ गया है। अब इसको स्थिति को बहुत अच्छा कहना उचित नहीं होगा।
और
मेरे ख्याल से 100 मीटर की रेस में अगला खिलाड़ी बहुत आगे भाग रहा है और एक खिलाड़ी मुंह के बल गिरा हुआ था, वो बहुत अधिक है, तो शायद वो खड़ा हो गया और धीरे धीरे चलना शुरू कर रहा है। तो उसके लिए आप चीयर अप कर लीजिए, बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट कि बहुत ज्यादा वहां पे INLD या ओम प्रकाश चौटाला के लिए करने के लायक कुछ है।
बीएसपी की स्थिति किस तरीके से आप देखते हैं?
बीएसपी जिस तरह से लोकसभा इलेक्शन में एकदम से 15% के आसपास उनके वोट वहां पे पहुंचे थे, उसका कारण बहुत बड़ा उनके इंडिविजुअल कैंडिडेट्स भी थे। केवल वहां पे दलित वोट बीएसपी को मिले हों ऐसा नहीं है। जैसे मसलन फरीदाबाद और इसके आसपास कैंडिडेट जो उनके थे, गुड़गांव में उन्होंने मेयो मुस्लिम कैंडिडेट दे दिया था, तो उन सबका इम्पैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा हुआ था। इस समय मेरा अपना मानना है कि शायद 4 या 5 सीट के आसपास वो अच्छा कंटेस्ट करेंगे। उनका वोट शेयर 10% से ऊपर रहने की शायद उम्मीद रहेगी, लेकिन बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट वो डालने में कामयाब हो पाएंगे इसमें मुझे संदेह है, क्योंकि बीएसपी उत्तर प्रदेश में भी केवल दलित का एजेंडा जब तक लेके चली तब तक कभी भी इलेक्टोरली सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाई। बीएसपी को पहला इलेक्टोरल सक्सेस तब मिला जब 93 में उन्होंने एसपी के साथ में टाई अप किया, और उसके बाद में दूसरा इलेक्टोरल सक्सेस तब मिला जब पिछले 2007 के चुनाव में उन्होंने बेस बढ़ाने की कोशिश की और अपर कास्ट को जोड़ा।
Okay, if you also talk about Arunachal Pradesh now, because you have very limited time, how do you look at the fact that after the last assembly elections there was simply no opposition there? Everyone, be it from the BJP or the Arunachal Congress or other parties in the opposition, they all joined the ranks of the Congress. Even the independents became associated with the Congress party. Do you think that this would be a very decisive factor, no opposition in Arunachal Pradesh for the last many years?
I would blame it on the BJP leadership, because in the last assembly election when the BJP contested on its own, even when Gegang Apang was not there with them, they got 9 seats. That means in a section of Arunachal Pradesh, there was a section which voted for the BJP, and there was a possibility of BJP filling this vacuum of opposition over there. In 2004, we also saw that two of the Lok Sabha seats went to the BJP. But at the moment, BJP is in total disarray, simply because the BJP leadership Arunachal was nowhere on the priority. They were just too busy with their central leadership and problem. They were just too busy counting MPs for a probable, desirable parliamentary
माफी चाहेंगे, समय
government.
हमारे पास लगभग खत्म हो रहा है। और मुनमुन, जब बात करते हैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश की, तो जिस तरीके से बात यशवंत देशमुख जी ने भी कही कि जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है उसकी प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट में अरुणाचल प्रदेश फिलहाल नजर कहीं नहीं आता।
Absolutely, but some very important poll issues would be the Chinese incursions and problems of the corruption in the PDS and an inefficient
और
road
कांग्रेस
network.
के सामने तृणमूल कांग्रेस और एनसीपी भी एक दिक्कत के तौर पर सामने कहीं ना कहीं
Absolutely, but the BJP this time is contesting far fewer seats than it contested the last time around. On that note, we'll thank you, Yashwant Deshmukh, for joining us in Perspective. After the break, we'll discuss important business news stories in today's newspapers. Stay tuned.